This is Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Tommy Krysan, and Hunter McCann.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Radio on Saturday, June the 20th, as we roll through the hot summer. A lot of raindrops in the area. We'll talk about that. I'm Tommy Krysan. Glad to be here. Glad to have you there. Appreciate you being tuned in on 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge, as well as ESPN Southwest Louisiana, covering the Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. And we are live from Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. We're in the DraftKings Sportsbook. This place is fabulous since they redid it. If you haven't been here, you need to stop by. We got a menu to get a bite to eat later. Casino is just fabulous. I walked through the casino floor a little earlier. Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. It's our home the third Saturday of every month for Sports Shorts Radio. So appreciate you being tuned in. And, of course, those of you that are watching the stream on Facebook, YouTube, or X, we appreciate that as well. Give us a like. Give us a share. Tell everybody about it. We're on till 12 noon. It's every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Ronnie Rance is on his way taking care of some Baton Rouge Rougarou business with the tarp at Pete Goldsby Field. Rougarou are home tonight. Gates open at 6. First pitch right after 7. Stay connected on social media to get any updates due to the weather or whatever. But gates will open at 6. Be a fun night out at the ballpark. Hunter McCann is here with me. We'll introduce him in a minute. Of course, he'll tell you today all about Gage and their Cummins generators. We'll tell you about Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, the Island Golf Course, River of Life capsules, big fans, Team Sports Shorts. We'll talk Rougarou. We'll talk Lake Charles Gumbo Gators, Acadiana Cane Cutters, who are scheduled to be in Baton Rouge tonight. We'll talk about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame next week, the huge induction ceremony. It's a 3-day event with tons of activity and stuff going on. LASportshall.com. Get your tickets, see the schedule. See everything you need to know. LASportshall.com in Natchitoches, Louisiana this weekend. Hunter McCann, good morning, sir. How
What's up,
are you?
TK? I'm doing good, man.
You got your Rougarou
I
shirt
do.
on.
We're
I got
Rouge
a
out
Rougarou
today.
VP top on. I got a Rougarou hat on. We got it going on for the Rougarou, who were rained out last night. The game started at 7:05. They pulled the players at 7:14. I know that because obviously I'm the official scorekeeper. And then the rain and the lightning last night was unbelievable.
Insane.
That's as much lightning as I've ever seen. And everybody hung around for a little while to see, was it going to pass? Was it going to get out of here? And then we realized no. So the game was then canceled. Abilene, 10-hour bus ride home. So they wanted to get on the road. They didn't want to wait and start at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So anyway, Rougarou's scheduled to be home tonight against the Acadiana Cane Cutters, who will be here in town. Same two teams play tomorrow night at Firebacher Field in Youngsville, home of the Acadiana Cane Cutters. And they got turf, so maybe a better chance to dodge the raindrops. Hunter, how you been doing, sir?
I'm doing well. It's been a great week. College baseball has been set. We got the College World Series starting today, 2 o'clock now. The game has been moved up.
I guess they got raindrops in Omaha tonight.
They do. 2 o'clock now between UNC and Oklahoma. So this afternoon at 2 o'clock, game 1 of that 3-game series. Could be best of 3 series. And then the USA, of course, yesterday.
I'm surprised you don't have your USA.
It was all worn yesterday. Of course, had to support yesterday.
2-0 over Australia.
Yes, it was great. Australia had an own goal in the 11th minute yesterday, put the U.S. up 1-0. Didn't really look back with an Alex Freeman goal near the end of the first half, and USA takes that 2-0 victory over Australia. Not only that, they then secure their place in the round of 32. And then last night, Paraguay's win over Turkey officially means the U.S. will win Group D, so they're going to have the most favorable path throughout the tournament. Now, that means they'll be matched up with whoever in the groups, the third-place winners of groups that get in. There are a select number of those. They'll be matched up against one of those.
I read that it's Turkey Thursday night at 9 o'clock.
That's correct. That's game 3 of the Group D because there's still the third game.
Okay.
It just doesn't matter.
So, in other words, they're set. Again, you know
correct.
more about it than I.
Correct.
But you're probably impressed that I knew they played
I did.
Thursday night at 9 against Turkey. I figured I made my notes for Sports Shorts Radio. I said, I better look at this.
So basically what it means now is the USA will play Turkey in that, like I said, game 3 of Group D. They could lose 10-0 against Turkey. It would not matter. They have officially locked the top spot. So they'll get the most favorable draw, like I said, and that means that they will go to the round of 32. They'll play in San Francisco in the round of 32 here, and I look at the data, but it's a week and some change. And right now, if things were to end right now, they would be matched up against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that means they would play the winner of New Zealand and the Czech Republic on that side of the bracket. Now, that's if everything ended right now, but a lot can still happen in Game 3. So we will see. But the United States in a favorable spot right now. They were plus 6,000 when the tournament started to win the World Cup. They're still a long shot at plus 3,000, but they are climbing. It's been pretty impressive so far. Yesterday's performance, they came out the gates quick, like I mentioned, and did really well at putting pressure in the front third on Australia and allowing them to make mistakes and like the own goal that eventually put the U.S. ahead. The second half, the only thing that really bothered me, again, it was the same thing I talked about last week, just that wavering in the defensive back, and they allowed a lot of pressure. Australia was able to get into the United States third of the field for the final 30 minutes or so of the game, but they still held strong and had a clean sheet, so it's exactly what you want to see. But 6 goals already is, I believe it's tied for the most goals the United States has ever had in the World Cup group stage, and we're only through Game 2. So they easily can break that in Game 3 if they at least put one up against Turkey.
Well, I'm glad you updated everybody because I knew less than 1% of that. I knew that they had 6 total goals because they got 4 against Paraguay and 2 against Australia. So I knew that, okay? But I'm not the big World Cup soccer guy like you. And Ronnie gets into the World Cup soccer stuff as well because last night we were in the midst of getting ready for the Rouge game. I said, Ronnie, you know they won 2-0 today. He goes, well, yeah, I saw that.
And Alex Freeman was the one that scored that goal, like I said, in the end of the first half. He's the son of former Green Bay Packer wide receiver Antonio Freeman. Okay. So that's his son that came up and stepped up for the U.S. to make that header and put the U.S. up 2-0, where it eventually finished.
Ole.
Hello, Ronnie.
What's up, y'all?
We're all rooped out, all 3 of us.
I like it. If we can just get a game in, that'd be amazing. The June has been the season of rain.
Yeah, a lot of it. And last night I told Hunter a few minutes ago, that was as much lightning as I've seen in a long time. It maybe ever last night. And I saw it shortly before the game started. I saw something that looked like it was way away, looking out past center field. And then it started getting a little closer. And then a few raindrops, and then kaboom.
Yeah, unbelievable. But anyway, big win last night for the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. Yep. They knock off the Acadiana King Cutters 6-3 in Lafayette to end a little 5-game schneid they had been on. So that'll make the little bus ride this morning a little easier going to Sherman, Texas to take on that team for 2 games over there. And for the Rougarou, the 2 most important games of the year are tonight and tomorrow night. They take on the Acadiana King Cutters. Quite frankly, Tommy, the Rougarou are 7-7 through 14 games, have the 1 rain out. They have 9 games left. Or they've had 2 rainouts, I guess, maybe? Yeah. They've had 2 rainouts.
Yeah, 1 on the road, 1 here.
Yeah, so they've had 2 rainouts, so therefore they've got 8 games left, 2 today, 6 next week. They have to win today against the Acadiana King Cutters and then tomorrow against the Acadiana King Cutters, in my opinion, to have a chance at second place. Victoria is going to win first place. Top 2 teams in the first half go to the playoffs automatically, and they're going to host a playoff game, so it's real important to try to be one of those top 2 teams. They have no shot, I don't think, if they don't sweep today and tomorrow. Acadiana's been playing well. You got the Abilene team. And then you have to go to Abilene, play 4 games during the week, and hopefully go 2-2 there and whatever. But before you can worry about next week, got to worry about this week. 2 games this weekend against the King Cutters. And
it's Pete Goolsbee Field. Gates open at 6 p.m. First pitch set for 7:05. Connect with Baton Rouge Rougarou on all the social media platforms. You'll be able to see any updates that may occur regarding tonight's game. So we'll do what we can do with that. Also, Hunter, I didn't mention yet in the Open, the United States Open Golf Tournament.
Yes.
Taking place at Shinnecock Hills on Long Island, Southampton, New York.
Wyndham Clark, man.
A tough golf course, a very tough golf course. And, Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, Clark's making it look easy.
A different course.
He's 7 under right now and going into moving day.
Back up
so
a little bit. That course is going to get even tougher. But other than that, you got LSU football being very active recruiting and in the portal. LSU baseball, Coach Jay Johnson, their activists can be. And then, of course, Father's Day tomorrow. So everybody needs a
jam-packed weekend.
With that, be busy with that. And then, Ronnie, I don't know if you saw it, but Oklahoma, North Carolina have been moved to 2 o'clock today in Omaha because they're expecting
Because of
rain
weather.
tonight. So they shoved it up to 2 o'clock with game one of that best-of-3 series. North Carolina's the favorite at minus $1.70 to win the best 2 of 3. Oklahoma plus $1.35 if you wanted to bet on the Sooners. Both teams' pitching staffs are locked and loaded, all arms available with the 2 days off. Should be fun in Omaha this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be a great matchup between two teams that where I talked about last week how Oklahoma kind of reminds me of a combination of Ole Miss when they won a few years ago and LSU last year when they finally came together and had their or 23, I should say, when their bullpen pitching kind of came together to give them the spark to be able to catapult them forward. And then, of course, Ole Miss caught lightning in a bottle to win the College World Series a few years ago. This Oklahoma team, their pitching had been so poor and their batting had been so inconsistent up until they got into the postseason where they kind of snuck in and got an opportunity to do it. And here they go playing against UNC. But it's a tough match today. Jason DeCaro on the mound for the Tar Heels, their ace, who's been extremely impressive this year. So it's not going to be easy for the Sooners, for the SEC to continue their streak of winning at the College World Series.
I tell you what, the College World Series has been shocking this year. With the Oklahoma story, to me, is exactly like Ole Miss was back when they were lucky to get into the tournament and then they won the national championship. North Carolina feels like they're due.
Yeah.
They've been 13 times before, 13 times to the World Series and have never won it. They've been a very consistent, really good program for a number of years, have had a lot of big leaguers. So you feel like it's their time. But Oklahoma, this is the type of, Oklahoma's, people forget they were in the finals in 22. They're doing this with a lot of young players. They're doing this with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. If they can win this national championship this year with that young class, they'll be the favorite next year. And even if they don't win it, they may be first or second next year.
I really like Oklahoma's coach. He was asked, what's different with him now than 2022 when they went to finals. He said, I still like to hunt and fish and dip a little snuff, and I'm the same guy because we just playing good baseball. By the way, breaking news, I don't know if you saw it in the midst of craziness last night, Nolan Cain back to Texas A&M as associate head coach and in charge of recruiting. Leaves Texas, goes back to A&M where he was with Schlossnagle, and now he's back at A&M. A little bit of a surprise move for me, and now I always figured sooner or later he's going to get one of the 16 SEC jobs. When I don't know if he was up for South Carolina or not. They hired a guy from Coastal Carolina who we know because LSU played him last year, and then Chris Lemonis, who used to be at Mississippi State, went to Coastal Carolina. But Nolan Cain,
I did not see that,
to A&M.
Ryan Patterson to UL Lafayette.
The Raging Cajuns get a good one.
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Nolan Cain at A&M. Now, listen, I have not talked to Nolan on the phone in a year. I texted, a couple congratulatory things. He texts back. That's it. So I really and I did text last time. I texted, hey man, miss you. We haven't really chatted in a while. I'm gonna just suspect because that's really sort of a lateral move for him. And I'm going to suspect a couple of things. One, they gave him a nice little lick, but he was getting a good lick at Texas. Yeah. So, okay, but maybe a better lick. But I also am going to suspect that two things. One, quality of life. I think maybe him and his family and all fit in like College Station, Texas, maybe a little better than weirdo Austin. That's just my guess. That's nothing that he's ever said.
I would agree with that.
Okay?
I haven't talked to Nolan in many years.
Yeah. But that's a feel. The other thing, too, is that, maybe something, happened over there and that relationship with he and Schlossnagle sort of soured or, it's
a little friction, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? You have difference of opinions. Maybe just you get around. It's the reason that, you date the same girl for a long time. And at some point, you're sitting there on the sofa. Yeah, I've heard that story already. Yeah,
I've seen this movie.
I know exactly what you're going to say, and I'm a little bit just tired of it. That you didn't do anything wrong. I'm sure you're tired of me. At some point, you just grow tired of the same old thing. And I think in Texas's case, there's a lot of expectation over there. They expect like LSU to win the national championship, or if not be in that finals. And it didn't happen last year when they had some injuries at the end and they didn't make it to Omaha, and it didn't happen this year.
Hey, but that pitching staff, I mean, they were expected to be the team playing UNC or playing West Virginia today. And like you said, Oklahoma and lightning in a bottle is a dangerous thing, especially in Omaha.
It could, like I said, it could just be, I think it's probably a combination of both, right? Like, after a little while, like, okay, well, that we've been together a long time. We're kind of growing a little tired of each other. Let's part ways before it goes ugly.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, I think probably, and this is my personal opinion, like I told you, I haven't talked to him on the phone in over a year, texted a couple times. That was it. I think that he's probably a better fit in College Station with his family and his life and how versus Austin, Texas. That's just my 2 cents.
Probably a long list of reasons, and I think you hit on some that could.
But that's a big move.
Be on that list. It surprised me. I saw it while we were waiting out the rain last night, and Gary Wolver and I looked at, whoa, look at this.
Now let's talk Ryan Patterson for a minute, because that shocked everyone. So Ryan Patterson, 20 plus years ago, was a great player for LSU, all SEC type guy. Had a couple of years where he was outstanding a hitter. Great personality, well liked by his teammates. He's been in the agent, he was doing the lesson thing and the coaching thing, and then he's in the agent world a little bit, and I don't know the extent of the agent world. I don't know, was he working for an agent as a bird dog? Was he an agent with the licenses and stuff personally? Don't really know that part. I would see Ryan from time to time over the years at a reunion or something like that. Always pleasant to be around. To see this move, for me, came out of left field. I didn't know, was there a relationship and a connection to he and Deggs? And my guess is there must have been. I also think that being that he is a nice personality and a guy that's been in the agent world, they're looking at it as he can bring in some players. He understands the agent and transfer portal, NIL world, and has the connections to bring in players, because at the end of the day, that's what the Raging Cajuns need. They've got the facility, they've got the fan base, they've got the history, they're in the right conference. I mean, that conference has put teams in College World Series 2 years in a row in Troy and Coastal Carolina. So, and they finished red hot. They were able to keep some of their young stars for the future. And so the table is set. It's up to Matt, Coach Deggs, and Ryan, and to go get some more dudes.
I think it's a great move for the Raging Cajuns. On paper, this looks good. We'll see how it goes. One other thing, Ryan, before we go to break, your former teammate, Lloyd Peever, elected to the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Was he 14-0 or 16-0 one
14-0 with an ERA under 2.
With an ERA under 2.
Insanity, right?
That's just silly, insane.
Well, I mean, I'm so happy for him to be going into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. And look, it's not just the 1 year at LSU in 1992. In 1990 and 1991, he was a superstar at Seminole Junior College in Oklahoma, which is one of back then was one of the top junior colleges in the country. I mean, Seminole back in the 80s and 90s was their coaches in the College Baseball Hall of Fame, and that was probably a top 5 junior college pretty much year in and year out. So he did great things in JUCO. Seminole was a little bit of a feeder for LSU back then at the time. That's where Wes Grisham came from. That's where Will Hunt came from. That's where Trey Rutledge came from. Maybe Jack Clark made it. I mean, there were a lot of guys that came from Seminole back then. But Lloyd Peever was clearly had the best year of anybody. I will tell you a Lloyd Peever story when we return. I mean, the guy went 14-0 with a 1.9 something ERA, but it could have been 16-0. But I'll tell you why he wasn't. When we return, I'll tell you that story. We return over here at DraftKings inside of inside of the Bally's Casino, the old Bell. Of Baton. Let me tell you something. I have told people over and over and over again about Bally's Casino from a standpoint of you're going to be blown away.
Yeah.
You're going to be shocked. We actually have the Abilene Flying Bison, our baseball team, the team that we played the last 2 nights for the Rougarou. They stayed here, and their bus is outside actually getting on the bus, getting ready to leave. They were like, man, that place was great. And it's right near everything downtown for all the Mardi Gras balls and if you got anything, concerts at night out, whatever, even if you live here, get a hotel room at the Bally's and make it a little staycation. They got fantastic couple good restaurants in here. DraftKings Sportsbook's amazing. Great place to watch the games. I mean, this is where you should be for your soccer today. When the United States play again?
They'll play again on Thursday against Turkey, but the game won't matter.
It doesn't matter.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yep.
Okay.
So you can come here over at Bally, sit here in the sports book, and they'll have it on at 9 o'clock Thursday night.
United States expected to probably experiment with the lineup a little bit.
I would imagine, and I would imagine Christian Pulisic will be nowhere near the pitch to let him continue to rest that calf. And get ready for the round of 32, United States, because that's where you're headed.
Who are they matched up with in the round of 32?
So don't know yet for sure. However, if everything were to end right now, they'd play Bosnia and Herzegovina in the round of 32. So we'll see if that's where it shakes out.
And if it's not, then who's the other option?
I don't know who the other option is. I just know that's where if it ended right now, that's where it would shake out. It just gives them the most favorable route, though, because it's going to be whoever ends up being a third place winner in a group, because there's a select handful of third place winners. The top, I think it's 8, advance to the round of 32. They will be matched up against a third place team, so it gives them a favorable matchup.
Very good. All right, we were over here at Bally's Casino inside the DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll take a timeout. Be back. Tell you a little story about Lloyd Peaver, who's going to be going into the College Baseball Hall of Fame, another LSU player into the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Only the 5th LSU Tiger to go in. Skip Bertman, alongside Todd Walker, Ben McDonald, and Dr. Eddie Furness. Now Lloyd Peaver, and he will not be the last. Trust me. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts. Don't go anywhere.
Now back to Sports Shorts Radio.
And
And welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance here with you over at the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino. We will be here until noon today. Tommy Chrysan, Hunter McCann with me. And the weather is a little bit dreary outside, but the tarp is on the field. The Baton Rouge Rougarou in action tonight at 7 o'clock. Even if it rains this afternoon, we intend to do everything in our power to make sure we play. That outfield can be a little wet. We don't care. We get that game in. So make plans to be there at 7 o'clock tonight at downtown Baton Rouge. Hey, we've got covered stands, got the Tremonti's Hamburgers, got the Bally's Casino VIP party deck on the Pinnacle Construction Party Zone, all you can eat food and drinks, all kinds of great stuff, fun jumps, Kona ice, you name it, for the kids.
Hey, Ronnie, before you tell the Lloyd Peever story, Thursday night when I went down to the Abilene dugout, get the lineup from the coach, he goes, "Hey, man, are you from here?" And I went, "Well, yeah, 30-something years." And he goes, "Where's a good place to go eat some seafood for lunch tomorrow?" So I put him on Phil's Oyster Bar, and he and their radio guy, James, and a couple other coaches, not the whole team, they all went to Phil's. They told me it was the best place they'd ever been. They couldn't believe how great it was. They said, if we're ever back at Baton Rouge, we're going to Phil's Oyster Bar for sure.
Good. Yeah, no, they enjoyed it, and Anthony took good care of
Carl Dunn made a comment. He was at the box against Ole Miss when Lloyd Peever got hurt. Tell everybody the story.
So
I've heard it, but tell
it's
everybody.
1992, so golly, we're talking 24 years ago.
More than
34 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
34
but
years
keep
ago.
counting.
Oh, gosh, 34. Jesus. So 34 years ago, LSU's playing Ole Miss. Kerry Bridges, their second baseman, who was their leadoff batter, or two-hole hitter maybe. First inning, hits a line drive right off the forehead, a temple of Lloyd Peever on the mound, and he goes down. Ambulance on the field. Like the ambulance came in the side gate onto the field, I believe. And they took him off. He, you know how, like, someone who's got palsy and they shake or whatever. That's how he was for a few days after. I remember eating lunch with him, and his hand was shaking as he,
Lord.
was kind of feeding himself. Dude pitched 2 weeks later and went 2-1 on the road against Auburn, like a complete game. I think he went 9 or 7 or whatever in that. He went 14-0 with an ERA under 2, and he only missed those two. I think he missed basically that start, right? He got knocked out in the first inning, and he missed another start, came back 2 weeks later and threw a complete game. Most unbelievable season I've had. But here's the most impressive thing about Lloyd Peever's season in 1992 that I've never seen before. I want to go back and make sure I'm saying this correctly. He went 40-plus innings, first 40-plus innings of the season without walking a batter. Listen to me now. He threw 45-6 innings before he walked a batter.
I remember
that's
Coach
insane.
Bertman,
I mean, that's insane.
Coach Bertman telling me of all the very good pitchers he had, and he had a lot of great pitchers, okay?
Of course.
Competitors, the whole bit. He said nobody commanded the ball better than Lloyd Peever,
Absolutely.
who could throw it strikes over a bubblegum wrapper. That's what Skip Bertman told me. And he'd never seen anything like it. And obviously, if you're 14-0 with an ERA of under 2, back then when they were hitting more hot, bats were a little hotter back then, let's just be honest. That's mind-boggling. And he truly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because of that year and what he did at Seminole Junior College.
Yeah, he 2011 was inducted into the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame class.
As he should be.
And, it was his 10th start of the season against Ole Miss when he was struck in the head. He had thrown a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it got turned around right at him. And his quote back then was, "It's funny because getting hit was one of the most memorable moments of that season for me. The work I put in to get back was tough, but fulfilling, and coming back and continuing success was great. It's the only thing that kept Lloyd from winning even more games that season," Bertman said.
I got a message from Kenny who said he was at the concession stand at the old box when Lloyd Peever got hit. And then, you know what he said next? You know what our faithful listener said? "We want Joel. We want Joel." Who's coming up in a few minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. Incredible season that year. But I'm telling you right now, think about it. Especially, Tommy, think about the bad pitching you've seen in the Texas Collegiate League the last couple of weeks. The dude did not walk a batter.
39. straight innings.
Was it
I
39?
was looking
You
it up
found it?
for you. Yep.
I wasn't 40.
39 straight
yeah.
innings without a walk.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
God.
Throw it out the
Don't take
window.
that any lighter.
That-
If it
That's
was
it? Just
29
39?
Yeah, just 39.
Oh, come on, Lord.
Yeah, but so you hyped
It's
it up, but
probably
it's
a
only
bad call that
39,
got
right?
it.
Yep.
Look, Skip would say the ump missed the call, and he issued the base on ball.
14-0, 1.92 ERA, and 39 straight innings without a walk. That is insane.
Yeah, I mean that's unbelievable at any level. That was 17 appearances, 15 starts that year. He tallied 116 strikeouts and 104 and 2/3 innings, and he had only allowed 67 hits in 104 and
That's
2/3
crazy.
innings, and he walked 20. So he was wild. It looked like after those initial 39, huh? I mean, he walked 20 in about 70 innings.
You know what impresses me that about only 67 hits. If you're the other team, you go into the plate swinging because you know the guy.
Yeah, he's going to throw a strike.
You know you got to be ready to attack first pitch on because the scouting reports out he's going to pour it in the strike zone. So don't go. You got to go up there hack it. And they still only got 67 hits. Had some pretty good defensive players behind him too, though. With like Jason Williams and some guys out there that didn't miss a lot of ground.
Mondo Rios in center. I'll tell you this: he was drafted in the 4th round that year in 1992 by the Colorado Rockies. That was the first year of the Colorado Rockies draft.
Oh wow,
that was bigs, didn't he?
Did not.
Did not.
But that was the first year that the Rockies, that organization, first draft they ever had. So pretty cool stuff. And so happy for him to be in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, none of that we even talking about his spectacular record at Seminole Junior College. Only one of 2 pitchers ever at LSU to finish the season undefeated. So that's pretty good stuff.
Who's the other? Ron Rance?
Give me a minute. Absolutely not.
2-0 and
absolutely not. Absolutely not. The idea that I could go 39 innings.
He was all SEC tournament team. Though.
Yeah. If the idea that I could go 39 innings without walking anybody is just ridiculous.
That's not happening.
It's never going to happen.
You're not going 3 innings without walking anybody.
We'll take a break. We'll be back. Maybe we'll have Joel Davis. So we got to track him down. Maybe we can find JD the Hog over at Woodenhaven.
No
Furniture
promises.
Company. No promises. Be back with more from DraftKings inside Bally's Casino right after this.
Yo, Jake and Flynn here. When it comes to roofing repair and new roofs, there's a #1 top
Welcome back to Sports Shorts Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance here with you alongside Hunter McCann and Tommy Krysan. And per usual, we're chasing down Joel Davis. It can't be that the weather's great for the furniture business, so he must be inside. We'll get Joel here in just a minute. I want to talk about the NBA Finals that wrapped up this past week. The New York Knicks win for the first time since the early 70s. The celebration was unbelievable up in New York City. I mean, obviously, you saw the crazies that went out in the night that it happened, and they lit a couple things on fire and did some stupid stuff. But the celebration a couple days later, the official one, was amazing, absolutely amazing. We'll get back to that. Let's joining us right now is Joel Davis over at Woodhaven Furniture Company in the heart of Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Not the best day for a furniture business, a little bit overcast, but now the rain's going to come maybe later today, so get over there to Woodhaven. JD, what's up, sir?
What's up, Ron? How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I mean, we got a lot to recap this week. You had the NHL final, finish up. Carolina wins the championship. The Knicks win the NBA Finals. You got the World Cup going on. The United States 2-0, advancing to the next round, which is incredible considering that going into this tournament, that most people did not have them advancing out of the group stage and figured if they just advance out of the group stage some kind of way,
it was successful.
That's good enough. Now the expectation is to win the next round because they'll be taking on a third team that finishes third in their division. Have you been watching, keeping up, seeing all the countries celebrating around the United States, Canada, and Mexico?
No, Ron, I haven't.
It's real sad, Joel.
Why?
Well, because I've got life, Ron. Life is busy. Lots of things going on at the Woodhaven Furniture Company. Red Zone fundraising is in the deeps, dude, right now. Just in the kicking off fundraising.
So we're not July and August anymore. We're just June.
Dude, let me tell you something, Ron. I mean, it's been 13 years since you've done anything in Red Zone other than stealing my groups for the Rouge and the Gumbo Gators. Other than that, Ron, it's changed a lot. So the Hurricanes changed a lot of what we do because a lot of our fundraisers for football teams were in late June, August, and coaches were losing money when the kids were, out for hurricanes and this, that, and the other. So we started moving up further and further. Dude, a lot of my groups kick off in June now. A lot of them kick off in June. Right when they come to camp, their summer workouts is when we're starting to really, really get into it.
Gotcha. Well,
yeah, just a lot different.
Well, Hunter McCann will fill you in on the World Cup since you've been AWOL, just head down.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me say something. Now, I will say this. Every time I get on the phone with Kento late at night, Kento, Indonesia, soccer's a big deal over there. Soccer's a big deal.
So you talk with him about the World Cup?
He wants to know what the hell is going on. He wants to know why I'm Mr. Joel. Medical good. Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, he's following. I'll tell you that. The Indonesian brethren are definitely keeping up with what's going on with America, and so as much as a lot of Americans aren't paying attention, the world's paying attention.
Right.
Trust me, the world is seeing what's going on.
Well, I think there's a lot of Americans that are paying attention.
But Joel, I was going to ask you: have you completely separate from the World Cup? Have you seen the reactions from a lot of these people that are visiting from other countries and coming in and seeing our culture and experiencing different things in America? Have you been seeing any of those videos online and things like that?
No, but let me guess. No, they think it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
The years of anti-American propaganda have died in the past 2 weeks. That is the end of that.
Exactly. This is the greatest place in the world, dude. America is the greatest place in the world to live. And unless you've traveled, you just shut your pie hole, dude. Because I've been all over the world, and I'm telling you, dude, I've never had to live where I go, right? I've just got to visit and got to leave. Everybody wants to come here. Why do you think that's so? So everybody wants to be here, and we're fortunate enough to be here. So why don't you just make the best of it while you're here? How about that? Because it ain't better in other places. I've been to Germany. I've been to Switzerland. I've been to Indonesia, Mexico, you name it. And I'm telling you, there's nothing better.
Speaking of
There's
Germany,
some cool places to visit. But you get to come home.
well, speaking of Germany, have you seen Ronnie or Tommy? Because Joel obviously said he hadn't. Have you seen this saga
Yes.
with Freddie, who's the
Okay,
big German
so-
super fan?
So here's my question about Fred, and I want you to explain this. to
Sure.
me. First off, Joel, have you seen the phenomenon that's become Freddie in the last week and a half?
I don't even know what the hell you're
Okay,
talking about.
right. So
Freddie Mercury?
Not
so
Freddie
here-
Mercury, no.
that would be an amazing story. So here's the thing: is that this happened? Remember a year or so ago when the two British
Josh and
guys,
Jace.
Josh and Jace, came over from England. They were in Shreveport. They got a hotel room in a bad
I
part of
remember that.
town. They wrote about it. They posted about how terrible it was. And then LeBear's Lake Charles said, "Come on down. We got a hotel room for you. Take care of you, feed you, blah 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 blah." And they went down, and people followed their travels and through Louisiana, and they were like a rock star. Matter of fact, they just went back to LeBear's, did a show, did a variety show and Q&A and all that kind of stuff. They did a whole show. So anyway,
That's fantastic.
people started copying that, right? And I'm sure they weren't the
Yeah.
first ones to do it, but it became such a phenomenon where these guys all of a sudden went from nobody to 600,000 followers type of thing overnight, that other people started doing that. Other countries started coming and just talking about American culture and, oh my God, Waffle House, it's amazing, whatever. And well, this guy Freddie
Yes.
comes from Germany, but you don't see his face.
No, he's
behind
a
the
faceless
picture.
wonder.
So you don't know what he looks like or anything. It's all POV type stuff.
Yeah, well, so Freddie,
Love
it was very popular in Germany as a German super fan, everything. So when the World Cup was coming, there was a bunch of Germans that were like, "Oh, Freddie's going to go to America. He's going to go and experience everything." Like, so it was he already had a social following. Well, when he got here, they kind of sparked the people in the United States and Canada, Mexico, all kind of paying attention to this big super fan coming in. He flew into Miami. He's been traveling and gone to Germany's game when they played in Dallas or Houston last week. They played in Texas, and so he had kind of been booking or kind of documenting his travels all through Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, into Texas, and it kind of just took off watching him experience Bourbon Street. He came and had a tour of the Saints and Pelicans facilities. They gave him a tour. LSU met up with him, gave him a tour of Death Valley, and he took videos in there and everything like that. It was the biggest stadium he said he'd ever been in his life, because of course it's the seventh largest stadium in the world, is Tiger Stadium. And it just became a phenomenon. But the saga kind of took its own turn when he went to Houston. J.J. Watt reached out, said he wanted to hook him and his buddies up. This guy's probably in his mid-20s. Like I said, you don't know what he looks like, but anytime they post pictures, he puts his profile picture of his face. He's living the American dream right now. But J.J. Watt set him up in like a penthouse suite in Houston and everything. They went to the game in Houston. And then afterwards, they had a little bit of break because they had a whole week between their second game is today in Canada against Ivory Coast. Ella Langley, the country music singer, he posted a video of him driving down the road, and they were listening to Ella Langley on the radio and everything like that. Well, she reached out and offered him free tickets to her concert, and they were going to put him up in Oklahoma City. I know. So they get to go to Oklahoma City. This was last night. They saw Ella Langley, got to meet her and everything, and then they were supposed to take a flight out of Oklahoma City to Dallas to Canada last night to be able to go to the World Cup game that starts at 3 o'clock today in Canada. Against Ivory Coast.
They came to Baton Rouge.
I know they did everything. It's been
Yeah.
great. Well, last night the once again took a turn, and Freddie's flight got canceled to Dallas. He was going to miss his connecting flight that took him to Canada, and so he's like, "Guys, we're going to miss the game." They said they can't get us into Canada until like 3 something, and by the time we get to the stadium, we're not going to be able to make it. Well, J.J. Watt once again steps up, hooks the dude up with a flight to get him to Dallas, and then while he's in the air, finds a connecting flight to Buffalo, where they're able to take transportation from Buffalo to Canada. He got to Canada last night at like 2 something in the morning. So the dude's going to get to go to the game against Ivory Coast. So everybody's kind of been following the Freddie saga, and he's just one of many people here that are experiencing American culture. But this dude is living the American dream.
Yeah, he's become a
All
star.
right, guys, cool. See y'all later. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, like the Freddie.
Appreciate y'all.
So-
Hey, great talking to you guys.
So Joel, with
Hey, yeah, no, seriously. Hey, great talking to you guys. If you need me next week, just give me a call.
hey, I love this kind of Joel. I mean, you come to the table. Hey, have you watched this? Do you care about that? Nope. Nope.
No,
Just
well,
nope.
dude, I'm supposed to be the Saints guy.
Oh,
But we're
okay.
gonna get the
That's
OTAs.
on my contract, Ron. My contract says Saints insider, NFL analyst. And then the first thing
Tommy,
you say
take
when
it
you
away.
call me is,
Take it away.
Hey, a lot going on in the world of sports this week
Yeah.
in the NHL. And have you heard of this Freddie guy? Like,
We're just trying to give you some culture, Joel.
Yeah, man, I mean, trying to grow. I mean, like 52 weeks of, yep, that guy reported. Go ahead, Joel. Take it away. Tommy, you take it away with him.
Cam Jordan, Joel, back with the Saints, 1-year deal.
Thoughts?
Wait, who's chiming in here?
That's
That was
PK.
TK. TK talking about Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan signed with the Saints. Your thoughts?
Hey, way to go, DK. That's friggin' professional right there, bro. I told you last week what I thought was going to happen with Cam Jordan. He was either going to sign with the Saints or he's going to sign with someone like Kansas City. And sure enough, Kansas City was interested. They offered him probably a little bit more money, but he decided to come home. There you go.
Well,
knew
he's
he was
going to be a
play.
one jersey guy, as they call it now.
Yeah, he's a one jersey guy, and I'm so happy for him because this is where he wanted to be. Who wants to get their entire family, uproot them for an entire year, just for potentially a chance for a Super Bowl? Clearly, he thinks the Saints have a chance, and he wants to finish at home. So happy that happened for him. So happy for him. But you know what? More importantly, I'm excited for. I want to see what Tyrese does. Tyrese, the defensive end for what's his name? Somebody talk to me. What's the defensive end from Las Vegas' name?
Oh, dude.
Wilson. Tyree
yes,
Wilson.
thank you, Wilson.
Tyree Wilson. Yeah, so I want to see what happens with this guy, dude. I mean, they're kind of loaded at the defensive end position.
Yeah.
Fidel Diggs is a guy that they really liked coming out of Syracuse. And he's a little undersized, but he fits into that 3-4 defensive end mold. Speed for days, can get after the quarterback. He's a year into the system, got drafted last year late, I think it's 7th round. So this year, Fidel Diggs could be a dude. We don't know. And so, I mean, you've got Chase Young. Chase Young has proved his value. And then if Wilson can just give you anything, dude, I mean, just give you anything, they may be in a really good situation at defensive end.
Well, not only
Joel,
I was going to say not only that, Joel, but you talk about that defensive line in general. You got defensive tackle, the rookie Christian Miller, who be able to plug up that middle and in the run game, anything like that, and allow those defensive ends to kind of eat. It's shaking out pretty well for the defense. It looks like on paper.
All right, Wooden Haven Furniture, Government Street, Mid-City, Baton Rouge. Y'all need to go see Joel and coach him up on the World Cup.
Well,
Appreciate
just
it,
go.
Joel.
He's the NFL insider.
Yeah,
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts live from the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino right after this.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
Last night during the raindrops, I was so glad I took my River of Life capsules. I was calm and stressed. I was like, hey, I can't control the rain. We'll just see what happens. So River of Life capsules.
Yeah, Patrick Scallon and the gang over at Angiogenesis Medical do a great job. If you can go check out riveroflifecapsules.com. If you've got any sort of inflammation, you've got any sort of joint pain, arthritic type pain, let's say you're taking some stuff that's over the counter, stop doing that. Go to riveroflifecapsules.com today. Learn about it. Educate yourself. Just try a bottle. At less than $40, you can get a bottle of it and take one pill a day as a kind of as a baseline. Or if you want to just wait until you start to feel a little something, maybe take 2 or 3 pills. But riveroflifecapsules.com. If you have questions, you can talk to Patrick and his professionals over there in Baton Rouge at riveroflifecapsules.com. Go by and see him on Suma right off by Our Lady Lake Hospital on Essen, or give him a call, set up an initial consultation, something like that. But you've heard us talk about it. Everyone on our crew takes it. River of Life capsules. It's great for instead of those over-the-counter medicines. Forget all the negative side effects, positive side effects, mental clarity as well. And riveroflifecapsules.com, all natural. Check it out today. All right, some news in the world of sports. How about Maverick Rizzi, the former LSU star?
To the Rebels.
That everybody thought, man, Maverick Rizzi, this is going to be the year he's going to become the Chase Shores of 2026. Well, it didn't work out. Maverick Rizzi did not have the kind of year that he wanted to have, and part of that, most of that was just command. Guy's 6'9". He's 2 years removed from high school. He's still a growing boy who's just trying to figure out how to use that giant frame and get that consistency. We see that time and time again with pitchers, especially extremely tall pitchers. Remember, Randy Johnson had zero control, while he was in his late teens, early 20s, and then he figured it out, and he had tremendous control later on in his career. So, Maverick Rizzi to me is that guy. Unfortunately, either probably he and his representation ran out of patience. At LSU, wanted to change the scenery, thought maybe we'll go somewhere else, change it up. Whatever the reason, he is going to be an Ole Miss Rebel, and that is unfortunate for LSU. You'd like to see him leave the conference and go somewhere else, because in my opinion, Maverick Rizzi is going to figure it out. Now, whether he figures it out 27 or he's got to figure it out in 28 or 29, he's going to figure it out and pitch in the big leagues one day. He's too talented. He's got too good of stuff. I just think it's just a matter of consistency. Can't stand the idea that he's going to Ole Miss. But heck, it seems like everybody's going to Ole Miss these days. I got a niece and a nephew going to Ole Miss.
You're going to Ole Miss.
I'm going to see LSU Ole Miss. Dr. Eddie Furness, one of the all-time greatest LSU Tigers ever. His son went and played at Ole Miss. So
Mike Bianco's there.
Mike's been there since 2001 season. So anyway, it is what it is. Maverick Rizzi, we'll have to see him. That's kind of welcome to the new modern way of college baseball. The guys that you get to know and like and cheer for now go play against you. And as we mentioned earlier, Nolan Cain, former LSU Tiger and coach, is left Texas to go back to Texas A&M, where he was an assistant for a number of years. That is an interesting play. We'll look forward to kind of learning more about behind the scenes of why that happened in the coming days and weeks. But and who will replace him at Texas. Interesting there to see who will be the new kind of associate head coach over at Texas for Jim Schlossnagle, because it's not like Texas didn't have a good year.
No.
And they have good, so that's
they got a lot of good returner talent and everything like that. They're going to be set up real well.
When we return to talk hour number 2, we're going to get into U.S. Open. Tommy Chrisam will tell us about that. The U.S. Open is the hardest golf tournament on the planet year in and year out. And it is proving that once again this year, as Bryson DeChambeau did not make the cut for the third
straight major this year. He has not made the cut. The dude has been playing. This is the worst golf I've ever seen him play.
And what's crazy is a year ago he was playing the best golf you ever seen him play. So to go from the White House to the outhouse so quickly is shocking.
I've seen some of the golf from Shinnecock Hills, and it's kind of neat to see the pros struggle a little bit. They hit the green, it rolls off the back. We do that, okay, whatever. But these guys are playing on TV for a reason. It's kind of neat. I don't know if that's the word. It's interesting to see the true pros
Well,
struggle a
and
little
it
bit.
would be interesting to see is if you and I played the course from the tips, the currents,
no chance.
what we would shoot. 120,
300
Well, I went
maybe.
to
130.
in 07 in the rough. I stood in the rough. If you and I were in the rough, we might stop playing and go to the clubhouse.
He's Tommy Christ and Ronnie Rance alongside Hunter McCann. We'll be back hour number 2 live from DraftKings inside Bally's Casino in Baton Rouge right after this. Welcome back, everyone.
Now back to Sports Shorts Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Christ and Hunter McCann over here at DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino in Baton Rouge, right downtown Baton Rouge, next to the Raising Cane's Center, literally across the street from the Raising Cane's Center, the base of the Mississippi River Bridge. Totally revamped, redone, amazing. The hotel is incredible over here. Daniel Hutchinson and the gang do an incredible job. Ryan Hernandez, a part of the Bally's Casino national team over here as well. Just a lot of great staff. You will be blown away over here at Bally's Casino and in the hotel and the casino and the restaurants and everything right in downtown Baton Rouge. Come check it out. All right, the Baton Rouge Rougarou in action tonight at home, 7 o'clock, downtown Baton Rouge. The Rougarou taking on the Acadiana King Cutters. Tarp is on the field, so they will be playing tonight. no matter what. I know the weather's kind of expected to be rough this afternoon, but it'll pass through, and they'll be playing baseball. The Lake Charles Gumbo Gators were on the road. They'll be in Sherman, Texas today and tomorrow. That's North Texas, near the Oklahoma line, north of Dallas. They'll be taking on the Shadow Cats tonight, and tomorrow the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators with a big win last night. They needed it to get off to Schneid. They beat the Acadiana Cane Cutters 6-3 over in Lafayette. Cane Cutters have been red hot right now. And Victoria Generals right now running away with things in the first half. The beautiful thing about summer collegiate baseball, they have two halves, the first half, second half. Top two teams in the first half make the playoffs. Top two teams in the second half make the playoffs. And if any of them are the same team, then it goes next to the next best overall record. So you always have a chance.
I want to give a tip of the hat to Victoria coach Michael Oros, who I've gotten to know working with you in the Rougarou for 5 years, the head coach of Victoria, who has won a league title, 300 wins in the Texas Collegiate League, not to mention a state championship at Kingwood High School in Texas as a high school coach in 5A baseball. So Mike's a great guy. Like I said, I've gotten to know him. I texted him to congratulate him on the 300 wins and all that.
That's impressive.
That's quite a feat. Number one, to have a coach hang around that long in a summer league. There are about 28 summer leagues around the country, obviously the Texas Collegiate League being one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a grind for sure. All right, so some news of the week. We mentioned in the first hour, kind of went in depth. Congratulations to Lloyd Peaver, former LSU Tiger pitcher, going into the College Baseball Hall of Fame this year. That was announced a couple of days ago. He'll be in the 2027 class. Lloyd Peaver, for those that don't remember, because LSU didn't win a national championship in 1992, but the junior college transfer, who was an All-American at Seminole Junior College, went 14-0 with a 1.96, I believe, ERA. And we know now that he did not walk a batter till after the 39th inning that year. So the first 39 innings he pitched, he did not walk a single batter at LSU, and then finally walked his first one. Incredible year. Coach Bertman called him the best pitcher he's ever had for a single season, and the command was outstanding. To me, the floodgates need to open on the rest of these College Baseball Hall of Famers. You already have Dr. Eddie Furness and Todd Walker from the 90s that were great hitters. You now have another 90s player in Lloyd Peaver. You have Ben McDonald from the 80s, and you have Skip Bertman. Those are the only ones in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. To me, Brad Cressy should be next. Someone like Aaron Hill eventually will be in. I should potentially be in, from my opinion. Guy was SEC Player of the Year. He was a great major leaguer. To me, Aaron Hill should be in. I think Aaron Nola should be in.
SEC Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah, Aaron Nolan and the great career he had. Paul Skeens, Alex Bregman. Those are six to me that are like no-brainers. Yeah. Now, are there other guys that deserve? Absolutely. But to me, those are just no-brainers. Then you can get into conversations like Brad Hopp, or you can get into
Ryan Terrio.
Ryan Terrio's a conversation. I mean, there's just so many. But to be a lock of the week, usually to be in the College Baseball Hall of Fame, what helps you kind of get over the hump is you got to be the national player of the year, national pitcher of the year, right? From a standpoint of, you were the best pitcher one year, you were the best shortstop, you were the best this, or a Dick Hauser Award winner, or a Golden Spikes Award winner. Well, if you do that, you're in. But then, or you can be a great college player who then became a great professional, and the combo of that can get you in, right? And so All-American, Player of the Year status, to me, gets you up to the list. But also, if you are a great player who went on to be a great college major leaguer, that combo can get you in. So we shall see what happens next. Excited for Lloyd Peaver. Next up, this past week, NHL Finals, the Carolina Hurricane.
Yeah. They got it done.
Fitting with the weather we had. Carolina Hurricane, best team all year, really, right?
Really, the most complete team for sure. A lot of people thought it'd be Carolina and Colorado. Ended up being Carolina and Vegas. Vegas took a 2-1 lead, and then Carolina kind of put their foot on their throats and finished them all 3 games in a row to win in Game 6 in Vegas and get it done. And they're actually having the parade right now. They have it on at the TV here.
Nobody burning anything in Charlotte?
No, it's pretty rowdy, but no fires, no pole climbing that I can see. It is not like the New York Knicks, who also got it done this week They got it done in Game 5 against the Spurs. So pretty incredible, though. Both of those series will go down as two of the best in each of their sports. That matchup, there were so many classics in that NBA Finals between the Spurs and the Knicks, and in the NHL between the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights. So if you're not a fan of either one of those sports and you just casually turn it on for the finals, you were probably pretty blown away with what you saw. It really was truly two of the best in both sports getting it done.
Let's go back 20 years when the Saints had their parade for winning the Super Bowl. Everybody pretty much behaved, if I remember correctly. I didn't go to the parade. I was in the French Quarter the day they won the Super Bowl and all that. But I don't think that was craziness like we've seen some stupidness in New York and other places.
The two cities that I compare to, and they hate each other, but it's the two cities that in comparison do the most violent crime and craziness and climb the poles and burn things. Philadelphia, New York. Those are the two cities that every time they win something, the city gets burned to a crisp. And it was crazy the amount of videos you were seeing. I think the one that stood out to me was not, them lighting the buses on fire and like that's crazy on their own. But there was a group of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, younger adults that went in right after they went into a Five Guys in New York, where apparently the head fry cook for Five Guys is a big Spurs fan, and they found out about that. They went behind the counter and beat the ever-living hell out of the dude. What are you doing? I read a report that those guys got arrested for that. Yeah. Well, I mean, just like taking it further than a game and celebration is insane to me, and taking it to a criminal level, like a lot of the stuff that's happened in New York, kind of just takes the good feeling out of your mouth for someone that's a New York Knicks fan and actually has a calm-tempered head.
That's crazy. There were a couple former New Orleans Pelicans that were on the Knicks teams. Josh Hart, who spent 2.5 seasons with the Pels in 2020 to 2022, and then a fan favorite, Jose Alvarado, who was traded midseason from the Pels to the Knicks this year. Those two former Pelican players super excited not to be playing for the Pels anymore, right? I mean, to be in New York and doing the Knicks thing, winning a championship. Both of them beloved over there as well.
Well, Victor Wembanyama said it middle of this week that he really felt like the Spurs dominated the Knicks and still lost. I was surprised he said that, but I also don't think he's wrong.
Yeah, no.
If
you look at the amount of minutes that they played in those games,
of the time they led.
Right, there you go. Yeah, so he's right that they outplayed them most of the time.
It really goes to show you that veteran experience and being able to claw back to close games is really just that difficult, especially in the NBA, because the hardest thing to do is be able to maintain a lead. We saw that in Game 4 between the Knicks and the Spurs, and where if basketball was only 3 quarters, Wembanyama's right. They probably sweep the Knicks, but unfortunately,
and that goes to the old saying: if you want to watch the NBA, watch the fourth quarter. You'll get a good taste for who was better or who was playing better, whatever. So that point was kind of magnified with the comments Wembanyama made and the stats that back it up.
And I said it in the conference finals. The NBA usually not my cup of tea, and I always tune into the finals, especially when it's a competitive finals. And I watched all 5 games. Some of the best basketball I ever watched. That was some of the best
basketball in the regular season.
Absolutely,
they actually think about playing defense.
And this was truly two of the best teams. A team that had been knocking on the door with the Knicks, and then that up and coming presence with Wembanyama and the Spurs. It just mixed and made for a lot of great storylines. So it was a lot of fun to watch.
And there's a parade in St. Bernard Parish next Thursday night for Mitchell Robinson, who played for the Chalmette Owls, Chalmette High, and he was a backup reserve player for the Knicks. There's going to be a big to-do down in St. Bernard next Thursday night.
Are you going to be there?
I don't know.
You thought about it.
Got a Rougarou game. No, we
don't.
Rougarou game.
Yeah. No,
they're on the road. Well, they're on the road. I don't. Maybe I have to go down there.
Tommy,
he might join me in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, St. Bernard Hall of Famer Tommy Christen. You should give him the key to the city, man. welcome to St. Bernard. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back, New York Knicks. You're there. We're here. I tell you, the Knicks winning it's bad for police.
Yeah,
it's good for the league. And what I mean by that is it's good for ratings. It's good for the league. I heard some crazy. They sold just so much championship merch, like just online and everything with the NBA and everything, because the Knicks are such a international brand, not just a local brand, that they just blew away the records for merch sales for championship game because it's been so long. It's been over 50 years since they won. So people are just so excited to get those championship hats and shirts.
Let me ask you this. Do you think if the Knicks had lost the series, it had been even more violent than what we saw them celebrating? I think this thing was screwed either way. But
yeah, but I don't think it would have been as more. I think people, had they lost, say, in Game 7, it would have been bad, but not as bad. Okay. I think winning brought everybody out. And just you got people that take advantage of that, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But glad for Jose Alvarado. He's the one that Jose. I miss him with the Pels because when he come off the bench or bring that energy and bring that juice to the team, the crowd would light up. He was just so pesky. We think about the good games he had against. Wake Forest guard, played for Chris Paul, which I could just remember him aggravating the heck out of Chris Paul so much, and getting a crowd going and everything, and Chris Paul not knowing how to handle Alvarado at the end of his career. It was great. It was great. So glad for him to get a title, but wish he'd have been in New Orleans. Speaking of the Pels, reports coming out of the Pels that probably they're going to have to trade their best asset.
I mean, they've been saying this for years. It feels like every year there becomes rumors about this time of the year that they're going to go ahead and dish Zion, but I'm not bought into that. I'm not sure what this team's trying to do, and under new leadership and everything, you want to have a positive mindset, and I wouldn't be opposed to shipping them all for a bag of chips at this point. But
I think you have to maybe see what you could get for him and then decide. I would think Joe Dumars and people, they're working the phone, they're working that out, like what could we get, and is it worth it in the short term and the long term? So I think you explore that and then make a decision. Now, if you get a bag of chips, you're not going to get rid of it.
Well, Zion, last year averaged 21
NBA
points.
Drafts this week too, and
he averaged 21 points, 6 rebounds a game. Okay, 3.2 assists, 60% shooting from field goal percentage, which of course because most of that's layups and dunks and things. But so those numbers are incredible. I mean, 21.6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a 60% field goal percentage.
It was his most consistent season.
It was those numbers are really good. That'll get you a lot of value. The problem is he doesn't play any defense. I mean, not even a little bit. Doesn't even think about it. Like he might as well have a red cape and just wave it by and let the bull go to the rack. I mean, it's occasionally he decides to play defense, but most of the time not. So that's the thing the problem I have with him. Plus, Zion's not going to re-sign, right?
I mean,
how many more years you got him under?
I can look right now.
Because he had to re-sign the last.
He did
time
already, yeah. But I can look right now and see his contract ends after the 27-28 season. So you got him for 2 more years.
You got him for 2 more years now, and that from that perspective, you shouldn't trade him this year. Right? You should try to get 1 more year out of him. Maybe you get something similar numbers or maybe a little better. Maybe you can get him to play a little defense because now he'll be healthy and bought in. But if you want to have any kind of chance of being competitive, you need to have a guy averaging 20-something points a game. So you should keep him 1 more year.
Well,
plus, believe it or not, people go to the games because you do have a star.
Well, and they have a couple of pieces young pieces that they could build around. Queen, Fears, they kind of give him a little bit of hopefully a future. With Zion, I think the reason you even consider a trade this year, if you're really thinking about in the next 2 years, you're going to dish him because you don't think he's going to sign again, is the fact that he's coming off his best season in the NBA where it came to consistency.
You're worried he's going to get hurt again.
Exactly. He didn't get injured last year. Right. He didn't miss significant time. Where every other season he has, maybe it's a trend now that in this point of his career, he's finally figured out how to manage his weight and he won't be injury prone. But you take the risk that this year he'll miss and half the
We're
games.
here at the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino. Do you want to go to the window and bet on Zion to stay healthy and not get fat over the next couple of years, or do you want to bet one or both go the other way? I think the odds at the Bally's Sportsbook would probably be
history sells you, yeah.
Probably say he's going to get fat or get hurt, or both.
I think get hurt is near the top of the list because history tells us that.
Yeah, and from that perspective, then but it also comes down to what someone's willing to give you, and if someone's willing to give you 2 first-round picks, okay, you trade them.
Absolutely.
But if somebody's willing to give you a player and a second round, then you don't.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I don't think that he'll be shipped off this year. I think you'll see him once again, and him playing it against Wembanyama and France later in the year for the Pelicans. I think that Zion's going to be sticking right in New Orleans for at least another year.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We're over here at the Bally Sportsbook in downtown Baton Rouge. We're at the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino, the all-new, gorgeous, unbelievable, amazing Bally's Casino. Like, trust me, you're going to walk in here and go, oh, my goodness. Like, it's that good.
You won't recognize it.
Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will roll on right after these timeouts.
Welcome back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We roll on from the DraftKings Sportsbook at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. You need to check this place out. Another place you need to check out is Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. I'll be out there Monday night for Sports Shorts Monday, but you can go for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tonight is steak night. They get their steaks from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. The Sunday brunch, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. is awesome. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Jason and the staff do a super job. Hit them up on Facebook and Instagram. Learn about the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the drinks specials. There's a full-service bar. Court Street Cafe, Port Allen, and I'll be out there Monday night for Sports Shorts Monday at 6:30. All right, Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysand. Ronnie's checking on our food order here at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. You know, we mentioned it last month when we were here. We mentioned it. This place is really nice. I walked through the casino floor when I got here earlier today. this place they did it right.
When I came the first time, like 2 months ago, TK, I was blown away. Parked in the parking garage right here by the sportsbook entrance. And when you come in here, I mean, they got everything under the sun. They got so many slot machines that stretch all the way to the very back towards the front of the hotel. A bunch of tables in the middle of that. They have an outside smoking area as well. And then, of course, the DraftKings Sportsbook, which is incredible. So many big TVs, and the window is open right now.
I mean,
it's just great. You got to come check it out here. Come to DraftKings Sportsbook at Bally's Hotel and Casino.
All right. What you got?
I was going to say, going back to the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark 7 under right now. That's a course record at Shinnecock through 36 holes.
36 holes. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, again,
he's playing out of his mind.
Tough. The thing that's different about that golf course and a lot of U.S. Open courses is the ball won't stay on the green. It's going to run off deep, left or right, into a collection area, whatever they want to call it. And it's very tough to manage. I'm not going to bore everybody with the detail. I saw some amazing things when I went to Oakmont for the U.S. Open in 07. That, like I had said earlier, it's one thing to watch these guys play golf and they're 19 under at the Milwaukee Open, but then to see them be challenged by the rough.
They don't look like robots, right?
Yeah, they look, and you can see their frustration. Guy got fined the other day for throwing a club.
Yep.
You don't see that often on a PGA Tour. Now you go out to, the Island Golf Club in Plaquemine, and you might see a club get thrown every now and then, but you don't really see that on a tour. But it happened the other day.
Well, and the talks this morning where it looks like course conditions, everything drying, everything they could make it a little more difficult moving into Saturday and Sunday. So it would be interesting to see if Clark can maintain that lead. I mean, it'd be pretty crazy if he continued to stretch the lead. But Roy McIlroy said it yesterday. If it's any course in the country that or on the tour that he believes that he could come back down 7 strokes or back 7 strokes, it's Shinnecock because it's hard to maintain a lead.
Well, and another thing about Wyndham Clark, some people don't remember this. I read about it the other day. Last year, the U.S. Open was at Oakmont, right outside of Pittsburgh, and he had he destroyed part of the locker room. Like he had to pay for it.
Yep.
Like they sent him the bill. Like major damage. He didn't just put his golf club through the back of the locker. I mean, he did damage, and he got a lot of gruff about that. And then now they're saying, hey, he grew up, he learned from it, and he's leading the U.S. Open with a long way to go. He's got a 4-shot. That 4-shot lead go away in one hole.
Yes. Those things happen. Destroying locker rooms. They
LSU
happen.
baseball destroyed one in Omaha. I remember Herb Vincent told me about the bill he got.
Well, statute of limitations may be up, but in 1992, I believe, or 93, I think it was 92, LSU played at Southeastern, and Ron Rance was the starting pitcher in that game, and I did not make it through 5. We won the game, and we were up when I left, but I got pulled like 4 1/3 or 4 2/3, but I didn't pitch well. We won the game, but I didn't pitch well. I was mad at myself. And they had a bathroom in the locker room. I mean, in the dugout at the visitor dugout at Southeastern at the time. And I went in that bathroom and did some damage, let out some frustration, may have karate chopped with my foot a door on the I acted a fool, okay, did some damage. A week later, I'm at practice. Coach Burtman calls me into his office. Now, I've forgotten about it. I don't know what
that's
this
a distant
is about.
memory.
I go into his office, and he says, hey, Rance, smoking a Havre Tampa cigar. Hey, Rance, have a seat. Yes, sir, Coach. And he takes a puff on his cigar. There you go. And he slides across a piece of paper towards me. And it's a bill. He goes, this is a bill that we got from Southeastern for your shenanigans a week ago where you acted like an idiot and you broke the door and you tore down the urinal, whatever he did, And I'm like, oh, man. Oh, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is not good. This is not good. And he goes and he pulls the paper back. And he goes, see, we're going to go ahead and pay this bill this time. But if you ever do it again, see, you're off the team. See, because I know your parents come from good family. See, I expect that out of Antonini or something because he's an idiot. But you know better. But you know better. So don't ever let it happen again. Like, yes, sir, coach. Yes, sir. That was that.
Did you get a glance at what was the amount
I
of the
think
bill?
it was like, I think he told me it was like 1,000.
Okay, well, that's a lot of damage, Ron.
Especially 34 years ago.
Yeah, that's
right.
a lot of damage.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you went to Southeastern. I'm sure they added a little extra. You know, they
Right.
thought, well, LSU's got the money. They probably threw in a.
There's no question they added.
I'll
They
say,
definitely- they may have doubled it.
What did Rod?
Southeastern probably threw in a couple things they've been wanting to do in the bathroom.
They doubled it, bought a couple extra
Yeah.
dozen baseball.
I'll say Ron didn't just break a mirror.
Right, right. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, hey, I can.
Did they put your name on the wall in
they
there,
did
like
not.
the Ron Rand stall?
But I mean, Wyndham Clark, I feel his pain. You know, you live and learn, you mature, you don't make those mistakes again.
Herb Vincent told me about the bill he got from Omaha at Rosenblatt Stadium, I think 91. And I remember the number he told me. It was huge.
And he's talking about like a celebration number, maybe,
Yeah.
or something.
No, that they damaged like the locker room.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't know if it was the 91 team. Just
Could have been
because-
93.
Just because, like, I don't remember like any kind of craziness going on in the locker room. I'm thinking if you damage the locker room, it's more like you lost and it was a frustration thing, maybe.
Well, and again, I'm not going to
Unless
say,
you're in New
I'm
York.
not going to say the number unless I get it. I talk back to Herb one day and find out.
Yeah.
But I remember him telling me about that
Substantial
on the
number.
down low, and I kept it quiet for a long time. But like you said, statute of limitations. is
Well,
probably up
I
now.
can tell you that, Coach. So in the old Alex Box Stadium dugout, which was a first base dugout, they had a water fountain, like in the middle of the dugout was like a water fountain, and it wasn't like the little small ones where there's just a pipe comes out,
Yeah.
there's just a little bitty bowl, and this was like the old school, water fountain, and where it had a big like tan front, metal piece in the front. And there were a number of times there in the 90s where guys would get frustrated with their at bat, take a baseball bat to that water fountain, and they damaged it a time or two. So finally, they put like concrete poles around the water fountain. So now you ain't gonna hit that water fountain now because now you're gonna break your bat or your hands or do some damage. But they literally had to put like a cage around the water fountain because it was just too conveniently located in a spot where folks wanted to just take a baseball bat to it. And I remember Coach Bertman saying, "Come on, guys, stop acting like an idiot. It's not the water fountain's fault." And so here's what he did. He got really into he was always into motivation, but he got really, really, really into motivation even more so when he became the Olympic coach in '96 and had a bigger budget and could do videos and all these things. But around that time when he was on the motivational quest, he got a toilet, like a little mini toilet that was, I don't know, maybe 6 inches tall, 8 inches tall, and it made a noise when you flushed the handle, and it made like a toilet noise, a flush sound. And he would tell people, "Guys, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds after you're at bat to get frustrated, act an idiot, say whatever you want, do whatever you want, but then after 30 seconds, that's it. I need you to go. I want you to flush the bad at bat." So he would make players, these are 21-year-old grown men now, make them go over to a toy toilet, flush the handle, have it make the sound, the flush sound in the dugout, and that's supposed to trigger like, okay, that's it. It's over at that point. Like you get 30 seconds, flush the bad at bat, move on to the next thing. Then he got mini keychains with a toilet on it that also made the flush sound and gave every player
That's
a
awesome.
mini
Oh, my.
keychain.
That is awesome.
Coach Bertman. He was
One of
I
a
remember
kind.
one time I was in his office at his house, and Ronnie, you've been there, and he pulled out it was not a binder, it was a folder that had like way too many papers in it, like it was just overstuffed. And he's showing it to me. It was all his motivational stories.
Yeah.
Because when we were doing his TV show for a couple of years, that radio show, he would bring a story every week of one of his motivational things, or the Bon Jovi T-shirt story is one of the greatest. I don't know if we got time for that today, but I remember looking at that, and I was amazed by the fact that this wasn't on the computer. It was this overstuffed manila folder. It may have been 100 or more pieces of paper in there.
Wow.
With the different things, and he would recycle some of them so that the guys didn't hear, the 95 team didn't hear the same thing the 94 team heard or whatever. I remember being amazed by that in his office.
You know who got a lot of those stories for him was Brett McCabe. Brett McCabe was a player 1991 and 1995, pitcher. And Brett went on. He's one of the biggest sports psychologists in the country right now. He has a company called The Mind Side. He has an exclusive contract with Alabama football. He also is PGA golf. There's tons of PGA golfers, college golf teams that he contracts with to work on sports psychology. And he has an office in Hoover, Alabama, big giant building over there in Hoover. He's went to Catholic High, pitched at LSU. And during his playing days, Coach Bertman would grab him and be like, hey, I need you to go by the library and look up some news things. And, and so he was like the researcher to find stories and help get Skip some new stories so that he could refresh some of it. And that put him on the path to doing what he does today. And he's one of the best in the world.
Wow. I follow him on social media, and there's a lot of good stuff you can get from Brett. Brett McCabe, M-C, big C-A-B-E. Go check it out. You'll be glad you did. It's really cool. It's motivational. It's information. It's inspirational. Right. I enjoy it. I follow because he came on Coach's show a few times back in the day when we were doing it, and that's how I got connected with him. And we called him to get him on the show. And
what's funny is that Coach Bertman was famous for like opening his door to his office and just randomly seeing whoever walks by and going, "Hey, Hunter, where are you headed?" Coach, I'm going to get some lunch. I'm gonna go to Wendy's. And Skip would be, ooh, Wendy's. What do you think about Inga's? Inga's subs, they're really good. How about Inga's? Well, yeah. I tell you what, why don't you go to Inga's and grab me something too? Yeah. And he'd tell you what he wanted, and then he'd give you like $5.
And it costs $12.
And it costs more than $5 for his portion, right? And so you'd come back from England. So everybody got caught once, right? Like, you got caught once where you go get his lunch and you come back and it's a little more than what he gave you. And, so the next time when you walk by and he goes, ooh, Hunter, where are you going? You just keep walking. You act like you don't hear him, right? I mean, and that's
only made that mistake once.
That's what you're supposed to do. But Brett McCabe was the guy that kept stopping. So next thing you know, but it paid off. He's a gazillionaire, and he's one of the best sports psychologists in the country because Brett kept stopping when he'd go, "Hey, where are you going?"
And he's a great guy. So,
and I'll give you one last one. Another guy who didn't stop who did stop a lot. Brad Cressy. So we're sitting around one day, 20 or so years ago, telling stories about how this was another famous Coach Bertman. Hey, Hunter, where are you going? Going to lunch. Ooh, hey, listen, I need you tomorrow. Come by the house in the morning, about 7, 8 a.m. Got some yard work and stuff that I need to do. But look, I'm going to take care of you. So you and your roommate, come by. And so inevitably you go by, you do yard work all day. At the end of the day, you go knock on the door. Miss Sandy comes to the door. Hey, is Coach Bertman here? No, he's not here. But yeah, hey, y'all come on in. He told me to take care of y'all. I got all kind of sandwiches here and chips and everything. Drinks. Help yourself. Eat as much as you want. So you'd work, 8-hour day and you get paid in bologna sandwiches, right? So you did that once, right? Once. Not Brad Cressy. Brad Cressy, we're sitting around the table and telling stories. Doug Thompson, Blair Barbier, myself, whatever. And Cressy's like, I know, and I couldn't believe it after the second time, blah, 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 blah. And we went, wait, a second time? You went over there a second time? Like, nobody goes a second time. But Brad Cressy from Seal Beach, California, baby, he went over there a second time.
Oh, goodness.
Hunter, it's hurricane season.
Oh, my goodness.
The folks your message.
Yeah, well, a lot of people lost power the last 3 days or so with the weather. Last time the tropical storm Arthur blew and everything.
Casey McKenzie lost power last night.
On his birthday.
84 degrees in his house, in his brand new house on his birthday last night.
Well, Casey wouldn't have been left in the dark if he had himself a come and standby generator from Gage because it's hurricane season. Like I said, you got to protect yourself and you protect your home and business and keep the lights on with a come and standby generator. They have generators in stock at Gage that can be installed in just a few weeks. And Gage has been in business since 1980. They can be trusted, their experience, and they're the #1 Cummins dealer in the Gulf South. So contact Gage at 225-753-4243. Or you can visit them online and check it all out at gage.cloud.
We'll take a break and be back with our last half hour of Sports Shorts Radio live from the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino right after this.
Ask your family dentist.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance here with you alongside Hunter McCann and Tommy Krysan. Sports Shorts Radio every Saturday morning in Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, right here on ESPN Radio from 10 until noon. And we are this week at the Bally's Casino, downtown Baton Rouge, inside the DraftKings Sportsbook. Today's soccer World Cup matches. What do we have, Hunter McCann? And this is a great place to watch. Giant screens all over. You can play some slots as well or whatever you want. Watch the games. What do we got today?
We got Netherlands and Sweden kicking off at noon today. So just shortly after we get off the air, they will get started. Sweden, of course, won last week. Netherlands drew and their matches against Tunisia and Japan, who play tonight. They play each other tonight. And then the other two games, Germany and Ivory Coast, played today. Germany last week, of course, with that big 7-goal victory, and Ivory Coast has won as well. So both those teams facing off in Group E. And then Ecuador and Curacao play today. Ecuador and Curacao, both the losers to Germany and Ivory Coast last week. So we see action in Group E and Group F today. And some pretty good matches. I mean, looking forward to that Germany-Ivory Coast game and see if Ivory Coast is the real deal. You can get them at plus 550 right now to win in regulate. Win it straight up, of course, in a three-way money line bet. And then Netherlands and Sweden, that game that kicks off at noon today, should be pretty good. So looking forward to that. But the other big news of this week, Ronnie, the end of the Brendan Sorsby saga. Officially, Texas Tech and Sorsby decide they're going to mutually part ways. Sorsby has declared for the NFL, and now the talk is where there has not been an official announcement on a supplemental draft. It'd be the first one in 7 years for the NFL if there is one, which basically means that the league will have to decide and announce that will do a supplemental draft before July 16th, which is 7 days prior to the opening of first training camp. So if there is a supplemental draft, that will give the opportunities for teams to give up their 2027 picks across all 7 rounds. They could give up a pick for Brendan Sorsby. And the way that it works is teams bid. They basically, the NFL polls them and says, okay, if you were to take Brendan Sorsby, first of all, do you have any interest? Okay, where would you take him? And teams can go, I would take him with my 3rd round pick in 2027. And they go through the whole thing. They're split up into 3 different divisions. Teams that won less than 6 or less games last year, non-playoff teams, and then playoff teams to kind of give you a hierarchy of the order that of priority. So, for example, if the New Orleans Saints say, yeah, I would use my 3rd round pick of 2027 on Brendan Sorsby, and then the Buffalo Bills also say we would use our 3rd round pick on Brendan Sorsby in 2027. If they're the only 2 teams that say that about the 3rd round, then the New Orleans Saints will be given Brendan Sorsby for a 3rd round pick because they have higher priority because they were a team that lost 6 or less games last year. So where there is not an official one, it is expected that we will see that. And my question to y'all is, what pick would you use if you were a team interested in Brendan Sorsby?
What pick would you use if you were interested in Brendan Sorsby?
Or would you use it?
I would want to have some kind of serious psychological evaluation to make sure that this dude is beat the gambling thing and is not ever going to gamble again.
And you would write it in his contract.
Absolutely.
If something surfaces,
if I see you
this
download
contract
the
is
app,
null and void.
if you have an app and if I see you walk into a casino, your contract's voided, etc.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me this week, well, isn't he going to be suspended for games? Well,
NFL's different than
exactly.
One has nothing to do with the other.
There are no. He did not break any federal laws.
Right.
He underage gambled, but that's not the reason that he was in trouble with the NCAA. It's because he gambled in general. There is no federal charges against him.
There's a lot
for
of
doing
guys
anything.
that are playing in the NFL that are way worse off than him. I get it.
Absolutely.
We're not making him out to be a villain, but at the quarterback position, I need him to be all in, focused 110%, doing nothing but caring about that playbook.
Yes.
I would think somebody takes a chance on him. I mean, there's 32 teams. You just need one team to want to take a chance. It's going to be somebody who would hope that if they think he can develop in 2 or 3 years.
Where do you think he would be without the gambling stigma as far as his talent level?
Yeah, I was excited to see where he would do this year because I do think he could be a top 3 pick, top 3 rounds, picked in the top 3 rounds. Without having this year, I think spending more than a third or fourth round pick is a gamble. I personally think there will be a team stupid enough that gets in a so-called bidding war to use a second-round pick. A team like Minnesota, who's so questionable with J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray, and Cleveland as well, who's notorious for making dumb quarterback decisions. The Jets. There are teams that are dumb enough to look at his resume, which is not bad. He is a solid quarterback, and give him that NFL chance. I would personally not spend more than a fourth-round pick on him.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be an interesting story to see. That segment brought to you by River of Life Capsules, riveroflifecapsules.com. We tell you all the time, if you've got any sort of inflammation, back pain. I saw some ads where, it showed people getting off the sofa, watching the World Cup, and they're, my back, and they can't stand straight up. And, you're taking all these little over-the-counter medicines. Well, try riveroflifecapsules.com. It's less than $40 a bottle. If it helps with inflammation. It helps with, it's all natural. It doesn't have any negative side effects. So a lot of times people have gut pain and all kinds of things that you're taking these medicines over the counter. You don't know what they're made of and what all kind of extra little gook is in it, and you feel bad over time. There's no side effect, bad side effects, only positive side effects with riveroflifecapsules.com. If you need more info, go to that website, and then you can also talk to Patrick Scallon and the gang over at River of Life. Set up an initial over the phone consultation. You can go by and see them at their office on Suma. Sit down with them. They got all kind of other products as well, but River of Life Capsules. .com. Try it today. You'll be glad you did. Your knees, your back, your everything will feel a lot better with all the natural ingredients that are in it. You mentioned the U.S. Open a little bit earlier, and how Wyndham Clark is running away with it through the first 2 days, 7 under and shooting amazing. That's a record through 36 holes. Sam Burns, by the way, 7th place, 6 back. He's at 1 under, and so Sam Burns, right there in the mix. 7th place, right there in the mix. There are a whole host of superstars with Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler that are 11th place, a couple back. So I feel like anybody that is in the top 20 has a chance. Even though Wyndham Clark's playing great, that course is that difficult. And Bryson DeChambeau, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, a year and a half ago, dude was a rock star, superstar. Beloved, playing great, Ryder Cup, all this stuff. And then I don't know if it's too much social media or what, but how he's fallen off is just shocking.
It really is, but all golfers at that point when they aren't any good anymore. We can go make a list. But here today it's all about Wyndham Clark. If he can shoot an even par today, 70 is par there. If he can shoot 70 today and remain at 7 under, he'll be the leader going into the final round, because nobody is going to shoot 4 under the guys at 3 and catch him. Xander Schauffele's in there, and he can't putt, so he'll back up. But that's going to be the story today. Can Wyndham Clark maintain what he's done for 2 rounds?
And yesterday he did shoot 4 under, Xander Schauffele, but like I said earlier today, that the course conditions are expected to kind of increase, and to shoot back-to-back 4 unders here would be incredible. So we will see. But if there was any course where a lead is nowhere safe, even with 4 strokes, it would be here. So it'll be very exciting to see if Wyndham Clark can hang on to the storyline with it. But man, Shinnecock is a living hell.
Couple of quick things to mention to you. How about Major League Baseball? Mizorowski hits 104 again, 0.2 miles per hour. The Brewers starter, incredible.
Kevin Gausman got beat up yesterday against
your
the Cubs.
boys.
Yes, 7 runs given up in the first inning. It was the worst first inning that Gausman has ever had.
How about the 2 teams in the World Cup that have clinched their groups already and have moved on to the round of 32, one being the United States. They'll play on July 1st against a third-place team of a group. The other, Mexico. Mexico is a host nation. They clinched. They will play on June 30th against the third-place team of a group. So pretty predictable, because usually host nations do play well, whether it be Olympics, whether it be a World Cup. They usually overachieve. Both of them, Mexico and the United States, looking outstanding. Where's Canada in the mix on this?
Canada is 2-0, I believe, but the way that their draw,
they haven't clinched yet.
Yes, I believe that's correct, because they definitely won on Thursday. I cannot remember
Didn't they blow out
if they
Qatar?
tied, I think they blew. Sorry, yes, they blew Qatar. They did tie Bosnia and Herzegovina last week, so they are currently have 4 points right now.
1-0-1. Yeah.
Yes, 1-1-0 is the
Or
is the way-
1-1-0
yeah,
is how they do it in
it's
soccer.
correct.
All right, we'll take a break. Final segment of Sports Shorts live from the DraftKings Sportsbook inside Bally's Casino coming up next.
Now back to Sports Shorts Radio.
All right, final segment from the DraftKings Sportsbook at the Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. If you haven't checked this place out yet since they redid it and fixed it all up and rebranded it and all that, you really need to stop by. Plenty of parking. There's a big garage next door that I parked in. Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. The food is great. The sportsbook, the 6 big TVs are amazing. I'm sitting here looking at them right now. And then, of course, there's millions of games you can play. Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. We're here the third Saturday of every month. Heck, make a plan next month to come out when we're here and sit around with us. There's plenty of room. You can get something to eat, get something to drink, have some fun at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel here in Baton Rouge.
Well, this week, TK, Lane Kiffin talking about the Tigers, and he said that the thing that everybody kind of hopes will be the truth, that LSU under his leadership as head coach will in fact win a national championship. He said, I don't know when, I don't know how quickly it'll be, but it's going to happen.
I don't think a coach has ever got hired somewhere And then somewhere in the first 4 or 5 press conferences said, oh, by the way, we're not going to win a national championship. We're not going to win a conference championship. We're not going to go to a bowl game. I mean, you just don't say that. But, but as somebody reminded me when they read the Kiffin quote, Brian Kelly said the same thing, 3+ years ago. Yeah. And, of course, we know that story didn't work out. But the bottom line is I like what Lane Kiffin and his staff have been doing as far as getting players, getting high school commitments for, in 2027, the portal. I like what it's feeling like. It's feeling good, even though it's only June 20th.
Well, let me tell you something. LSU didn't spend all that money buying out Brian Kelly and spend all that money bringing in Lane Kiffin and all that money they're going to dedicate to football to not win the national championship. And, is there value in getting close and not succeeding? Yeah. I mean, can getting to the playoffs and every year and winning a game or two every other year and, that's good enough. I mean, fiscally, that's good enough. It gives you hope and a chance and a chip and a chance, and every year you feel like you're right there. That's what LSU football expects to be. They expect to be a team that's in the playoffs every year. Now, is that feasible? Probably not. But can they be in the playoffs every other year?
Sure.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. And obviously as they grow the playoffs, which we know they will, it's a matter of what that number becomes. But we know they know they're going to grow the playoffs. But I don't think Lane Kiffin. We all know that Lane Kiffin's not here for the long haul. I think he's going to be the coach of the Rams one day. He's going to be the coach of the Dolphins. He's going to be in a major city where he can go party and be in the VIP. Baton Rouge is going to get old for him at some point.
You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, at some point,
what about
probably.
This is the new Lane Kiffin, though, right? You got reason to believe different. I know. I know the story.
I believe that he will absolutely, at some point grow tired of Baton Rouge. I think you got 4 or 5 years. You think you're silly if you believe you're going to date him longer than that. So 4 or 5 years, and you got 4 or 5 years to win a national championship or get real darn close and be super relevant every year. Can he do that? Absolutely. Absolutely, he can do that. And I'm excited about seeing his play calling. I watched it as against LSU at Ole Miss, and with in essence lesser talent at certain spots, always schemed and figured out a way and to be really tough on the Tigers. This past year was a masterclass up in Oxford, so I'm really curious to see what he does.
It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
For Hunter McCann and Tommy Chrysan, I am Ronnie Rand. Special thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook and Bally's Casino. Don't forget, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is next week up in Natchitoches. 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Go check it out at lasportshall.com. You can watch it all on LPB next week. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday.
Some call it over.